Hello, ladies. Hopefully everybody can hear me and see me okay. It's nice to be with you all again. Happy Wednesday. Hope hump day of the week, right? We are halfway through another week. Weeks, I don't know, they seem to be flying by so fast. I don't get it. I mean, we're already into March and this year just started, it seems. Anyway, I'll I'll get past that eventually. Um, Welcome to tonight's Wellness Wednesday. Uh, I'm going to say my disclaimer that I need to say every time I do these live events online. So I will go ahead and do that. Um, the Please recognize that anything that you hear tonight is just health information and it is not health advice. Um, some of it may sound like health advice, but it really is not. If, please do not start taking, or change the way you are taking any of the medications you're on. If you feel like you need to, please consult with your prescribing practitioner to let them help you make those changes appropriately. And lastly, attending this Wellness Wednesday does not um, constitute a doctor-patient relationship. So there you have it. There's the disclaimer. Okay. Um, I'm really excited as well to remind everyone, especially any new ladies that are on the group, um, about upcoming masterclass. In less than 3 weeks, March 25th through the 29th, every evening that week, we will be meeting together right here on the page to discuss how to fix your thyroid and change your life. So it's 5-day Fix Your Thyroid Masterclass. I will be going into so many topics relating to uh, thyroid conditions and really to help you understand that this there are causes for your symptoms, and I'm going to go through why this is absolutely not all in your head, why you're not crazy, why that there's actually some things going on, and I'm going to show you by taking you through comprehensive testing and my thyroid repair blueprint uh, that I've been able to help thousands of women with to fix their thyroid and get their life back. So um, that is the March 25th through the 29th. Mark your calendars. Remember to put a timer on to get started with us at 8 p.m. Mountain Time, 7 Pacific, 9 Central, 10 Eastern Time. So every evening that week. Great. I am going to get started with tonight's topic. It's going to be a fun one. Controversial, yes. And I guess I don't mind dealing with some controversy. We're going to talk about cholesterol. So, okay. So, cholesterol, what is it? It is a substance in our bodies that we all need. It is made from fats, proteins, and sugars. And 20% of cholesterol comes from our food, and 80% our body makes. Well, that's interesting. It must be so important that our body makes cholesterol, 80% of the cholesterol that we need. Every cell needs cholesterol. Sorry, I've been doing a lot of talking today. It's been a busy day. And I'm going to list 11 important functions. I'm going to refer to some notes here just so I don't forget any. So the first one is, as we age, we actually need more cholesterol. There's a book about cholesterol myths. It's called the Cholesterol Myths by Ufi Rav. Let me see if I can say this right. Ravenskov. So Ravnskov. Ufe Ravenskov, MD. Okay. The second thing, Second important function is it has anti-inflammatory properties. Okay, cholesterol has anti-inflammatory properties. Thirdly, cholesterol is a precursor for the sex hormones. So and I'll show this in a moment. I'll show a cascade of these hormones. Testosterone, estrogen, progesterone, all come from cholesterol as the primary building block. Let's see, fourth, cholesterol is necessary for proper cell and cell membrane function. Maybe you didn't know, or maybe you do know that our bodies are electric, and electricity flows through each of our cell membranes. And in order to keep this membrane electric potential the way it needs to be, to keep us vital and alive, like really alive, we have to have cholesterol in every cell membrane of our bodies. Okay. Number 5, cholesterol is necessary for maintaining cellular structure. Okay, so it's not just the membranes, but there's other constituents inside the cell that helps maintain the cell structure. We need cholesterol for that. Right. Number 6, cholesterol helps make myelin sheaths that surround all the nerves of our body and brain. You've heard of multiple sclerosis, which is an autoimmune condition, which is where the immune system attacks the myelin sheath and destroys the myelin sheaths, causing severe neurological dysfunction. ALS is another just severe neurological disease characterized by certain neural pathways being destroyed. And you need cholesterol to maintain these. It's like, the wires that are running through your house, they have a sheath on them, right? They have an insulating sheath that allows the energy to course through those wires much better. Otherwise, the energy gets dissipated if it's just a live, an open wire, and it doesn't flow properly. Well, that's a big reason why we need cholesterol. Number 7, for brain synapses, we need cholesterol for brain synapses, which are the connections between the neurons. Every neuron connects to the next one, like this. They have these dendrites, and they connect to the next neuron here, and then the next one, and then the next one, to form these neural pathways. Well, you need cholesterol to support those connections. That means we need a large amount for our brains. Okay. Number 8, cholesterol is needed to preserve memory and optimal brain function. Well, I was just explaining that, but overall in the brain, and there are other forms of cholesterol that help the brain to function optimally, so you maintain memory. All right. It's like being able to access the data in the hard drive of your computer. It has to work right. Well, in order for that to happen in our brains, we need cholesterol. All right. Number 9, cholesterol is needed to make fat dissolving bile acids in the liver. Who knew, right? In order to digest fat, cholesterol helps to make those bile acids. Okay, that helps to do that. Okay, number 10, cholesterol is needed to make vitamin D. It's needed to produce vitamin D. Holy cow. And what happens is you also need the sunlight to convert the right vitamin D, but you need cholesterol and in the skin to help that happen as well. Number 11, babies need cholesterol for proper neurological development. What I'm trying to tell you is that cholesterol is super important, and it is not a bad guy. All right, the brain utilizes 20 to 23%, depending on which study you look at, uh, of the body's cholesterol. Okay, and the brain is mostly made of cholesterol. It's some places, some studies show up to 80% of your brain is made of cholesterol. So so interesting. Cholesterol, like I said before, is the main building block for hormones. Okay. I'm going to show you a cascade of hormones just to share this. It's quite fascinating. So I'm going to share this screen right here. As you can see, right here at the top, cholesterol starts everything. And then all these different cascades start. So to the left-hand side here, as you go down, cholesterol makes your progesterone. Okay, on the right-hand side, cholesterol makes your DHEA, which leads down to testosterone. Okay, it then also leads down this pathway through androstenedione to estrone, and then estradiol. Testosterone also helps you make estradiol. Did you women know this? Like, first thing that is made from cholesterol, in order to get to estrogen, you have to go through the testosterone pathways, or the androgen pathways. Anyway, that's kind of an aside, but it all starts here, ladies. It all starts with cholesterol, right? Uh, so why have we heard that cholesterol is so bad, right? Okay, we'll get to that in a minute. Cholesterol cannot circulate through the blood on its own, okay? It needs other particles. It needs lipoproteins, all right? Lipoproteins are made in the liver, all right? So LDL and HDL. So the way it works is LDL is like outgoing mail, HDL is like incoming mail. And you need them both for all this to happen. For cholesterol to be, again, produced in the liver, actually, I don't think I said that. Cholesterol mostly is produced in the liver. And then as well as these cholesterol particles, these lipoproteins. So is LDL actually bad? Or is HDL actually good? So let's talk about this. I mean, if your brain is mostly cholesterol and it uses 20 to 30% of your body's cholesterol, is it bad? And then is LDL bad because it takes cholesterol from the liver to the body? Absolutely not. That's its job. LDL's job is to transport cholesterol that can't swim in water. It's like, it's like oil in water. It just kind of sits there and can't move anywhere. It's got to be carried, all right, transported through the blood. And so it needs LDL. It needs HDL to bring cholesterol from the gut to the liver, and other parts, from the other parts of the body to the liver for recycling and excretion. Okay. Well, is HDL good, or is it bad too? Because it's also carrying cholesterol through the blood. I mean, it's mind-boggling that doctors, especially specialists in heart and so forth, view the cholesterol like as a villain that it's not. There are other things that cause the problems we have in our society, the diseases, the heart disease and strokes and things. And it's not necessarily cholesterol. In fact, it takes many other things that to happen before cholesterol collects and forms plaques in the arteries and so forth. And it's not, other tissues form plaques too, but it's not the same kind of a thing. So HDL, LDL, necessary. They are necessary, and we're going to talk about some of the side effects of not having adequate levels of cholesterol. All right. There are drugs that are supposed to lower cholesterol, and because cholesterol has been vilified, villainized, the billion trillion dollar multi-billion dollar industry, which is the pharmaceutical industry. And I probably have to tread lightly here, but the statins are a huge part of that. And as long as they've been prescribed, I will tell you that there has not been a decrease in heart disease or stroke prevalence. So I've been told I should probably stop sharing. I should stop sharing. Okay. So there has not been a decrease in heart disease or stroke in the prevalence since we've started prescribing the statins. And a lot of people do studies on this. So the drug companies do studies. There are a lot of independent researchers that do studies, and universities do studies. And it's interesting the discrepancies that are found within these studies. And so there's a lot of side effects to these. One of the main ones that I'd like to bring up, statins interfere with both cholesterol and CoQ10 production. So our bodies are supposed to produce CoQ10, and CoQ10 is needed in every single mitochondria in our bodies to make energy. We have to have CoQ10 in that cascade. And so this features prominently in muscle and brain function. So HMG-CoA reductase enzyme is blocked by statins. So these pathways to produce cholesterol and CoQ10 are blocked by the statins, and it's this enzyme that is blocked in particular. This causes fatigue. This causes muscle loss and muscle fatigue. This causes brain and nerve dysfunction, neurological dysfunction, memory decline, memory loss, and cognitive decline. Statins also interfere also increase insulin resistance. Statins increase insulin resistance and actually lead to prediabetes and diabetes. And there's a list. In fact, I want to share it. There are others. So let me pull that one up. So, as you can see, this list is quite lengthy. And I don't know about you, but as you peruse through this list, there's not one of these that I want to have. And considering the risks of, being able to prevent the risks of getting these types of diseases, if you lower your cholesterol, all right, lower cholesterol causes these side effects, then I think I'll take my chances not taking the statin, okay, because these are not worth it. And that's just me. Some studies show that it takes 10,000 individuals taking a statin to prevent one heart attack. So if you're any good at statistics, ladies, even if you're not good at statistics, that makes no sense. Why would it takes so many individuals taking a statin to prevent one heart attack? That doesn't even make rational sense. A particular study, the Ascot study, showed a greater than 99% failure rate. And many others are showing even higher failure rates in with these drugs. In fact, lower and persistently low cholesterol, the numbers are right around, that's right around 150, correlate with a higher risk of mortality. So ladies, cholesterol is not a dangerous substance. It is necessary for our body's function. We need cholesterol to function throughout our lives. Unfortunately, unfortunately, the information that most doctors share is based on the drug company studies and not on any independent studies. There are a few doctors out there, and I am thrilled when I hear about them, that are really reluctant to put their patients on statins. And I think that's fantastic. More concern is needed for inflammation. We know that inflammation is what causes heart disease and stroke. This is not a new concept. This has been studied extensively. Inflammation causes the vessels, the blood vessels, to not function properly. And when they're inflamed, the body produces fibrinogen to go ahead and repair that inflammation in the blood vessels. And that's like filling potholes on the road, right? Well, as a lot of you know, as the inflammation is there, and if your LDL is like a wheelbarrow and you're carrying cholesterol in the wheelbarrow, the natural thing is, when that wheelbarrow hits a pothole, boop, it's going to spill out the contents. And this is a silly analogy maybe, but what happens is the fibrinogen causes cholesterol to collect and build these plaques. And so everything starts with the inflammation, and then the arteries and veins build up these plaques, mostly arteries, but build up these plaques. And then that causes a turbulence in the blood flow, which causes clotting, because once you have turbulence, you upset the viscosity, the fine balance between flowing blood and its ability to clot when it stagnates for a little, just a short time. So you start a little clot forming, and that turns into a bigger clot. And so there's several reasons for heart attacks and strokes to occur. Most often it's, a clot breaking through and clogging up a small, tiny artery, like the coronary arteries, or a piece of plaque that maybe breaks off and plugs up an artery. Or it can be arterial spasms just from the inflammation, causing the artery to clench up, to tense up and spasm, spasm like this, which will cause pain and not allow blood flow through it. All right, so that's what we have to focus on, ways to prevent that. Well, guess what? There are ways to prevent heart disease and inflammation. And that's by finding out what the root problems are for the inflammation. And there are plenty of markers, blood markers, that we can check for inflammation. But, okay. A little bit about cholesterol numbers, and then I'll just kind of wrap it up. Doctors used to like to keep cholesterol between 200 and 300. It was not abnormal for cholesterol to be up at 300, and there was no problems. There was no necessarily an increased incidence of heart disease or heart attacks. In fact, studies are showing that, like I told you in the beginning, especially the elderly need more cholesterol as you age. because you need this cholesterol to function properly in your cells and to have the right voltage going through your your arteries, cells, not arteries, your cells. You've got to have the right voltage to go to get the energy moving through your cells properly. Um, and so uh, in fact, I'll say this too: the reference range for LDL particles has gone down, like has decreased, and it's 0 to 99. Well, that's been lowered ever since, probably for the last couple decades, since they were really pushing statins. So the reference ranges were effectively changed because drug companies want doctors to prescribe them more. Does anyone see a problem with that? Okay, I do. So, okay, if LDL is below 150, great. Even if it's maybe a little above that, I'm still not that worried about it, because it just means your body needs cholesterol to go through, go to the body. It needs more cholesterol. When your cell membranes are hurting for, they're not functioning properly, and you're dragging your tail on the ground and not getting through the day, and having to nap, and having to, write everything down. You can't remember anything. You forget names. You can't come up with words in conversation because your brain's sluggish. You need more cholesterol, most likely. So your brain's trying to get more cholesterol. I mean, guys, it makes sense. HDL, you need HDL, but not too much. I like to keep it below 70, because above that, it actually tends to be a sign of gut issues, gut infections, and autoimmune disease. So it is a marker for that. It is a symptom. Cholesterol is a symptom. Okay. And how does it correlate with hypothyroidism? Hypothyroidism ends up in with this mechanism causing higher cholesterol, because your cells are trying to do their job, and you need thyroid hormone to turn on metabolism. And when it doesn't, you're basically begging your body for more cholesterol to help the membranes function, help the membranes be able to accept more thyroid hormone through them. See, cholesterol forms many functions, like I said before, and you need cholesterol in every cell membrane to help hormones that work in the cell, to help things go into the cell that need to go inside the cell to do that. Okay. So yeah, HDL needs to be between 50 and 70 or so. And then you're likely pretty good. I'm not going to get into a whole lot of, how we elevate, how we get the right cholesterol levels per se, but I will say that you need the right fatty acids. You need to maybe you need exercise, but some of you ladies that just lack energy probably shouldn't be exercising. And so this is mostly a dietary issue. Sometimes you're not eating enough fats, and that's a problem. I'm going to talk a lot more about that during the master class. This gets fleshed out. Some of the reasoning behind what I'm saying gets fleshed out a lot in the master class. So we are, we're gonna talk about that then. So total cholesterol really doesn't matter, because it's like, I give the analogy that, okay, you've got this highway full of traffic, full of cars and motorcycles and big trucks and bigger trucks. And really what it is, total cholesterol is like all the particles together. It's like, well, how many passengers are the cars carrying? All right. That's the total cholesterol, with all the cars and passengers inside. It doesn't really matter how many passengers inside. What matters is how many, cars and trucks are heading down the highway together, and motorcycles and all that. So you add up all these particles and that gives you the total. Well, that's less important, except, like I said before, when they're measuring all-cause mortality, and they found that cholesterol lower than about 150 is correlated with increased risk for mortality. So there you have it. Ladies, we need cholesterol. We need to use it as a symptom, just like it's supposed to be, when we measure it and figure out what's going on. So what's interesting is an article in the New York Times examined the issue of statin effectiveness in women. And in the article, a leading cardiologist stated, we haven't shown that statins can prevent deaths because we haven't enrolled enough women. And that's a crime, he said. I remember him. But the absence of data isn't the same as negative data. Okay? Wow. So a leading cardiologist is stating that we have not enrolled enough women in studies. And this was about 11, 10, 12 years ago. How many women do they need? Billion, millions, billions? The reason they need so many women is that an ineffective therapy requires a very large number of subjects in order to show a minuscule positive effect. Certainly, in the past 10 years, there are enough women in the latest studies to draw a firm conclusion. Statin drugs should be contraindicated for use in women. They do not perform better than placebo at decreasing mortality. When you throw in the adverse effects that I listed there, particularly the increased risk for diabetes, I would say never mind the statins. All right. So I'm going to see if there are any questions, because I do have a minute or two to answer some questions. Okay. Ooh, there's several. Can cholesterol lead to plaque in the brain? No, that is a different kind of plaque. That's going to be a little bit different. Okay, do puberty blockers halt the production of cholesterol? I don't actually know the answer to that question. I'm going to be honest. I don't actually know the answer to that. Anything that lowers cholesterol, so it's not really hormones, like hormone blockers, I think you're trying to get at. I'm just going to think logically about that, and then I'll probably have to look that up because my curiosity is piqued. When you block hormone production, it doesn't necessarily affect. Well, I'm gonna backtrack and say, if you're blocking hormones, especially in women like estradiol, you are going to affect liver function. You're going to affect liver and brain function. So, in a sense, I guess in a roundabout way, it could be an indirect effect of blocking production of cholesterol, because liver. Look, ladies, your liver, your brains, your heart, your bones, your, obviously sex organs, your endocrine organs depend on estrogen. Your brain, it depends on estrogen, estradiol, for function. So, yeah, I think logically that makes sense. Next question: why have we been told cholesterol is bad? That is a long answer, and I get to that in the master class. I'm going to explain in the class why that is the case. It is, like I said, it all has its roots in big pharma and some faulty studies. But I will get into that in great detail in the master class. So please attend. if you really want an answer to that. What if the liver is compromised? Well, that's exactly it. If the liver is compromised, you may not make enough cholesterol too. So you have to find out why the liver is compromised. Is it because of low thyroid? Because low thyroid affects everything. Every cell in your body needs thyroid. So could it be the liver, or could it be the low thyroid causing the liver compromise? Absolutely. And there are other things that cause liver compromise, many other things, other medications, other drugs, certainly foods that we're eating. Yeah. Next question. Is the gallbladder necessary for cholesterol? The gallbladder isn't necessary. It just houses bile that is made from cholesterol. So not necessarily. Next question, and I guess this is kind of a personal question. I have a thyroid condition, but my doctor keeps giving me cholesterol pills. What's up with that? Well, now I think you know what's up with that. Doctors are only doing what the drug companies are telling them to do, unfortunately. And I, for one, want no part of that, and decided long ago that I wanted no part of that. So sounds like you might need a new doctor. How much does it affect adrenals? I'm not sure what you mean by the question. If you're talking about low cholesterol, it's going to affect the adrenals. It's going to affect them adversely. Your adrenal glands need cholesterol for the cells to function properly, for you to make the right adrenal hormones properly. So it's so your adrenals need cholesterol to be able to make the stress hormone cortisol, to be able to make the fluid and electrolyte balancing hormones that come from progesterone, which come from cholesterol. Uh, so I think you guys get the picture. Low cholesterol is definitely going to affect adrenal function. All right. Next question. What if my LDL has been 100 for decades? Well, I don't see the problem. 100, like an LDL level of 100 is great. There's nothing to fix there. Next one was my LDL was 142. I think you said it's okay to be up to 150. Yes, it's okay. That's health information, right? No health advice. Ladies, if you don't have any other questions, and I appreciate the questions that you gave or that you asked. Lots of important information here. Thanks for joining me. It's absolutely essential to learn the right information, and my mission is to share that information with as many as I can. And so I'm looking forward to sharing a ton more information with you in the masterclass. You just don't want to miss it, especially if you really need to find answers and need to know how to fix your thyroid and feel better. Just, I mean, even if you're not sure it's a thyroid problem, so many things are related to low thyroid that yeah, it's worth finding out the information. So thanks for joining tonight. Remember, there are answers for sure. Have hope, right? And remember, your body still has the ability to heal. And I'll see you next week. And have a great night, everyone.